So today we're going to look at whether we should take a toddler to Islands of Adventure at Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida.
I say yes.
And I say no.
No, you're trying to kill me today. No, no. What are your reasons why you wouldn't take children to Islands of Adventure?
Because there's a lot of big rides.
And
I have stood them on my own. So
do you want to torture me?
Yeah. You'd love Rip It Roller Coaster.
Rip It?
Whatever it's called. The big vertical one.
Oh, Rip Ride Rocket.
Yeah,
well, that's
you'd
in the
love
other,
that.
That's in the other park, so... You're just saying no to all kids, to taking all kids, are you? At the theme park because you want me to ride the big rides?
Yeah.
Mean. So let's get him out of the way. Give me a chance to talk. Because you know I love to talk. So, why do we think that it is a brilliant park to take children to?
Because there is a few rides, isn't there, which have no height restriction, which Rowan can go on with either. Lots of ways for young children to burn their energy off whilst they're in that park.
Yeah.
More so than Universal Studios. Universal Studios is very limited.
At the minute. This video, we're just going to share some of the stuff that there is actually available to do in Islands of Adventure. Because I do know that from personal experience, Universal tends to get a bit of a bad rap.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've done really well with Islands of Adventure. Now, if you start off with, when you enter the park, if you go right and you start off with Zeus Landing, and I'm going to go around the park this way. In Zeus Landing, you've got 2 rides that haven't got a height limit.
Yeah.
So that is...
So 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, and the carousel.
Carousel.
Yeah.
Yeah, the carousel. Also, you've got the show. You've got great shows there.
Yeah.
You've got the children can try green eggs and ham if you want to buy them that, which I think is just quite fun, especially for grown-ups. There's a splash area, isn't there? There's a big play area,
which has got all the Dr. Seuss books, even the rare ones that you very rarely see. And also there's a TV in there that the kids can sit and watch, and it's all air conditioned.
They can do colouring in there. And that's right next to where they do the show and the meet and greets. It's quite nice to burn off some energy if you're waiting like 20, 30 minutes and you've done everything in Zeus Landing and you're waiting just there to do the show. That's quite good. There's a really great restaurant as well there, isn't there, that does like children's pizza and chips really quite cheaply. And we found that a lot of adults were just ordering the children's pizza and chips. It was a really cheap meal alternative. And
it was also quite a good sized slice of pizza, even though it was a children's portion. Next up is the Mystic Fountain. So it's a fountain that talks.
Says jokes.
There's jokes.
Yeah.
And the children can splash around in it.
Well, not really splash around in it, but you have to be careful because it'll splash you and squirt you, and it's got like a volcano water at the top, and it can spit water at you, and sort of I think kids just find it really fun, especially if they've been out in the heat. I mean, we spent what, 2 hours in Zeus Landing, 2.5 hours easy in Zeus Landing. There was so much to actually do. The bigger children have got 2 other rides that they can ride. So I was going off and riding those rides. There was some great stuff that for Rowan to do. There's interactive stuff as well, isn't there? There's storytelling. So in the play area and past the rides, there's little microphones, and the children can go and listen to what it says, and it's just really fun.
And I think also now Rowan's a little bit older and he's more confident with his walking, he's gonna love those interactive things a bit more, because he can independently walk up to them.
Yeah.
And he can independently interact with them.
And it's nice to let the kids cool off wherever there's water. Within 20 minutes, it's so hot in Florida. In 20 minutes, they're dry. So it's they're dry. So after that, you've got sort of the Hogwartsy area, haven't you? So you can go into the Hogwarts area, or you can bypass it entirely if you don't want to. And if you've got a 2-park ticket,
you can use the train.
Yeah, you can use the train. So you can actually just hop on the train, go over to Universal and come straight back if you wanted to stay in Islands of Adventure, just to have the experience of riding the train. Like, you don't actually need to stay in that park and just hop straight back.
And it's quite well themed. It does feel in a strange way like London.
Yeah, like you're on a train in London. It's really cleverly done, isn't it? It's really, really cleverly done. Fully accessible. Any height can go on there. Not much of... It depends if there's a massive wait. Obviously, you wouldn't. But when there's only like a 10-20 minute wait, it might be worth you doing. You get some ice cream or a butterbeer. And then pretty much if you're heading back then round into the park.
You're then heading into Camp Jurassic. And in there, there's a play area, isn't there, for young children?
So you first come to the Discovery Centre.
Yeah. So you can go and discover dinosaurs, you can do DNA sequencing. Like
eggs, you can watch a dinosaur egg being like hatched and like all that sort of, that process, you know. There's a lot of educational learning in there. Like Jason said, the DNA sequencing is really quite fun.
Yeah.
And it's just generally really great, a great space. There's loads of like dinosaur bones and dinosaur structures and exhibitions. So there's a little shop in there, but it's really nice, just especially if you've just walked quite a while.
Yeah.
And you've been out in the heat quite a while. Like say you've done Dr. Seuss, but you didn't really go inside, and you've done the Mystic Fountain. There, you may have had a quick look around Hogsmeade, and by the time you've got there, you know, you might sort of feel like you're flagging and you're really hot. It's a nice little place to let the children burn off in the aircon.
Yeah.
I do really think next time we go, we'll spend a lot more time in there, because Rowan, again, is walking so much. He's a boy, he's really into his dinosaurs, he's really into his cars. He's going to love that, isn't he?
Yeah,
so I feel like that's a really great thing indoor. And then, like Jason said, apart from obviously the big rides, you have got the outdoor play area. I think that's called Camp Jurassic, actually. I can't think what the Jurassic Park area is, but the Camp Jurassic outside is really great. There's like waterfalls. It's like a boy's dream, isn't it? It's like a boy's adventure dream. You know, your kids can play. You can play hide and seek with your children there, as long as you keep a close enough eye on them. And yeah, I just think it's overall a really great exploration. Ways for them to, you know, to let off steam. I feel like a lot of things are great. It's almost like there's a lot of adventure stuff to do at Islands of Adventure, which I really love that they've done that. And that it is really an adventure. It's all about adventure, rather than just calling it that and it being massive rides and actually there being no adventure for the children.
No. I think Universal definitely are moving, as they create these newer parks, towards being a lot more family friendly than maybe they were in the 90s.
Yeah. Then we're on to the water rides and the Miss... I could get this wrong, but the Miss... I think it's the Miss Ship Olive play area, or is Miss Olive Ship play area. But this is a great little ship for kids to run around on. I don't think it's uber accessible for Isla. We haven't done it yet, but there is water cannons that are free. So there's water cannons dotted around by where all the water rides are that you pay $1 to use, but on the ship they're actually free, and adults can use them, children can use them. So that's a really great tip.
This is also something I did say to you, wasn't it? That when Rowan gets a bit older, if he can go on the water ride, Isla might enjoy if she can get up there, literally being at the water sprayer ready to spray Rowan on the way past.
But then again, I feel like I'd pay for a water sprayer for that, because those are more accessible to her. And I think, why not? I mean, what's a few dollars for our, you know, our oldest is disabled in a wheelchair, so what's a few dollars? And again, we didn't feel like there was nothing for her to do at Islands of Adventure, because there was so much to do that for everything she couldn't do, there was something else she could do. So we just had a really, really great time. We're so excited to go back, aren't we? We're unbelievably excited, like, to go back. And then really we're on to the Marvel Island. Really, that's what's left in the park. And there's not a huge amount for them to do in Marvel Island, but there are so many adult rides there that actually there's an indoor arcade that they can go and play in, and a toddler would be quite happy with all the flashy lights just to walk around in the aircon, I think. And there's also like face painting, which I thought was a really great point, that, you know, if you've been out in the heat all day, you might not want that face paint first thing in the morning when you first walk into the park. It might be nice to go in the afternoon. It's on for a few hours and you go to the hotel, maybe have a swim, and it's going to get washed off. So I thought I'd add that there to say, you know, whilst the adults, if you've got, you know, the men go off, or, you know, you're taking it in turns in groups, or there's just you and your husband and one child, you can sort of, you know, occupy the child. And there's a few really great shops there as well. So if, you know, the husband wants to go off and do some shopping, or boyfriend or whatever, or you do, you know, there's some great little spots there that, and you're also winding around to the front of the park. So you've got like Cinnabon at the front of the park. You've also got Starbucks there if you want to go and sit in Starbucks, well, because you've got the Hulk, you've got this big Spider-Man ride. You've got Dr. Doomfall ride, haven't you? Is it Dr. Doomfall rides? That's 3 big rides right there that, you know, if you're just trying to desperately get one, I mean, sometimes you only ride once, don't you? I mean, and that's good for him to be able to get it done. So these are our reasonings for no for Jason to take any kids to Universal. Is that right?
I'll take teenagers.
So they can
children I can put on the roller coasters.
I fear for my mum, because what if you're going to talk to... My mum's coming to the next trip in May, and...
Babe, I'm not the person that put on Oblivion and said it wasn't that bad.
Oblivion isn't that bad.
She might disagree with you on that.
Anyway, guys, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Love you lots. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for rolling with the Hatfields.